Hey guys, welcome back or to the channel. So I've gone ahead and got some material already. I will go over dimensions with you and thicknesses of what we've got. I've got some sheet metal there, that's 16 gauge sheets, hot roll. They're 4x8, there's 3 sheets stacked there. Down here we've got our tubing, and it's 2x2, 14 gauge. Okay, and I've got them all pre-cut, and I'll go over the dimensions. And there is some 1.5 inch angle iron. There's those are 8 footers, 10 pieces. We're going to use that for the inside of the framing of this oven and for building of the door. There's a bunch of high temp wiring, gaskets, everything we need to wire her up. So I'll get this camera on a tripod, and we'll go over some dimensions with you, and then we'll get things started to tack up. Okay guys, so I've got the metal set up. I put my mic on my cap this morning, so I'm hoping that that's going to work out well. So this 2x2 here is 14 gauge. These should be about 80 inches long, and they're right on 80. You guys can see I've got them on my layout table. I'll grab some of the cross beams. Okay, so the cross beams here, if I'm not mistaken, I had it measured out at 22. Bang on. Okay, so basically this is going to be the side of the unit. So how that's going to work is pretty well something like that. Okay, so let's move her down. So of course we're going to have our feet, and then what we'll do is we'll clamp this to the table to make sure she's sitting properly. So the idea is to get these all welded in or tacked in. We'll do both sides, and then we'll get the back sides tacked in. And that should work out great. What I'll do is I'm going to mark them, and then I'll discuss the dimensions of how I'm going to work it out. Let me get a square, and we'll get started with that. Okay, so let's line this puppy up. So I'm using out the new layout table. It's working out quite nicely. I'm very happy with it. This is the first project on it, so I'm hoping that I'll have many more. Okay, so when we're laying this out, we've got our interior light and housing. So of course we wanted to make sure that we've got enough space on the top of the oven. We also want to make sure that we've got a little bit of thickness on the top of the oven, because that's where we're going to get most of our loss. I am going to do about 4 inches, just because the insulation is about 4 inches thick. I don't have to cut it, I can lie it flat on top, and then we'll go down to the bottom. At the bottom of the oven, there's also going to be a space. Of course, we don't want it too close to the floor, and of course, I've got casters that have to go on it. We'll make adjustable feet for the bottom, and that'll help. But we'll get this together, and I'll kind of give you an idea of where I'm at. Okay, so we marked it down 6 inches from the top, actually the top of this. Reason being is that the 2x2, right? So you're going to subtract 2 inches, that's giving us 4 inches. That's going to work out perfect. So we just square that off. One. And we'll do the same over here. Okay. I thought I did that. Try that again. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see the markings there. We'll get some magnets and we'll get it tacked in or held in place. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to measure out for the depth the bottom of this oven. Now, realistically, the measurements of this oven is going to be very different than what I normally have made in the past. So it's going to be a little bit more narrow and 4 feet wide and about 6 feet high. So most parts will fit in this oven without any hesitation or any problem. Also, it'll make the oven a little bit more efficient. I mean, the last oven I made was 4x4 by 8. That was a big oven. we did put 4 burners. So this oven is only going to be a 2-burner oven. And in the last video when I did the controller, I did discuss that. Reason why I want to do that is that I want this oven to be able to be used in any garage. So any shop, any home shop or home garage, anybody that's running say a 100 amp service or 200 amp service can run this efficiently with a 30 ampere breaker without going too crazy. The wiring I will keep the same. I will keep the wiring heavy duty and beefy. Just purposely just to make sure it can be upgraded. It can add extra burners if need be. It should work out perfectly. So let me mark the bottom of this so I can show you where I'm going to be at the bottom. Okay, so you know we've got 6 inches here, right? So it's the 4 inches plus the 2. So we're going to go 6'6", which is 78 inches right there. And then we're going to do 78 inches here. There we go. And now we'll square that off and I'll show you where I'm going to be at. Now, I'll make a mark here. This is top. This is just, I mean, for you guys to see visually, top. And this, of course, will be bottom. Now, the bottom is going to be closer to the ground, which is fine. We're trying to use as much space of the tube as we can. There we go. Okay, so we're all set up there. Okay, so it's 6 feet. And then the bottom will be there. I think that's going to work out quite nicely. Perfect. So it'll be shy of 6 feet. So it will be, because of the inner tube, so the inner tube is here. Actually, I might be able to get away with putting it at the bottom. Yeah, I probably can do that and get a full 6 feet in there. I think that's what we'll do. We'll go right down to the bottom and make sure we get the full 6 feet in there. This here, we'll sit here, here, and of course we'll do here. 1, 2, this is bottom. All right, so there we go. So what I'll do is I'll bring you in a little closer so you can see where I've marked everything. So there you go. I've got it all marked. That's the light that, of course, we're going to put in there. I'm going to move down to the bottom. Okay, so we've got just enough to put at the bottom there, and we'll mark it and install that and go from there. Okay, guys, so what I did is I decided to move it up an inch, the bottom. I'll be shy of 6 feet, but that's not a big deal. I just want to give myself an inch at the bottom of play. So when I put the casters on it, the casters I made have a lip, and I don't want that door that close to the very bottom. And I'll explain to you as we go along there. Let's clean up these bases a bit, just where we're welding. All right, let's line this one up again with some magnets. Pretty good. So I know I'm not welding this one in here. What I'll do is I'll just put this in here for now. Just to kind of hold her from moving around on me a little. And make sure she is sitting right. She is too. We look good. Okay, we'll tack that in and then we'll move it, flip it around and tack the other side. Okay, let me move my mic and my cap and get my welding hat on, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I got that welder dialed in. Hopefully she'll be okay. And let's see how she fires up. Okay, she's good. One done, guys. Then what we'll do is, of course, we'll do a continuous weld on everything. But I'll get these two done first, and then we'll lie up the bottoms and make sure everything is sitting where it's supposed to be. And then, of course, we'll weld it all. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to clean up some of that area and then move from there. So we got to put up the legs on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up one side. And big question what side we're going to use. That's the bottom, we're going to use this side. Alright, so I'm just going to clean up these spots. And then we're going to get the cross sections mounted in. As they are very important. Cross section. Let me pull it out. So it's still 2x2, 14 gauge, and if I'm not mistaken, I had cut these out to 44 inches. So let me just double check. Yes, they are 44 inches. Okay. And those definitely will go just like that. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up welding these two at the bottom. We'll tack them in place, clean them up. We'll do both sides, all tacked. Usually I don't fully weld everything until I get it all set up and see if I get it as square as I can or as possible, which will help out when we're doing stuff, of course. But we'll clean these up and then get them welded on. Of course, I've got 4 of them to do. So let me clean them up and then I'll bring you to getting them tacked in. Okay guys, so I got them all cleaned up. So let's get the legs put on. So remember that these here are 44 inches long, 14 gauge 2x2, okay? So the game plan here, when I'm tacking these things, is I'm only going to tack them in the middle. So, well, I don't know if you can see the base of that. Let me just double check. Yeah, you can. Perfect. So the game plan is I'm just going to tack them right here in the middle. The reason being is if I need, once I put the top on, I'll have a little extra play. I can move them around if I had to. The game plan, of course, is to try to get it as square as possible. This way I'm not fooling around with it later. But she's looking pretty good right now. And she's in there good. Okay, so I want to make sure these pipes are where they need to be. 100%. Gloves on, and we'll tack that one in the middle, and then we'll do the other 3, and then of course we'll put the other one right on top. So that'll give us room to play if need be. All right, let's get that other one tacked in the middle. We'll do the same thing like we did on this side. Tack. A little extra material on there, but that's okay. I'll grind it off after. All right. She's good. Okay. So we'll twist this around and we'll move it over. This way we're not fussing with it. Loose, but that's okay. So let's get that one lined up. Nice and hot. Getting myself in a new noggin here, guys. Jeez. A little hot. We're good. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna get the top on. So guys, instead of farting around with this thing and it kept on moving on me, because remember, they're just tacked, I decided to get all my clamps out and clamp in those cross beams there for now, giving me more of a solid surface to put that top on. So let me get this camera back on a stand and we'll put the top on and see where we go from there. Okay guys, so I got the crosses on there. Let's see if we can get this on top. This time without any issues. And we should be able to. Everything. Alright, we're good. Okay, so how we're going to get this thing to sit properly is we're going to do opposite corners. I'm going to do that corner first. And we get her lined up nice. We'll tack. We'll make sure the pipe is square and flush, and it is. And we'll do a tack here. And then we'll do that far corner there, and then we'll go from there. Once I've got it all tacked up, it should be pretty well square, somewhat. It looks pretty good right now. Okay, so let's tack that in. So guys, I got her all lined up, tacked in. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and clean up the welds, or weld them up. Do a continuous weld on this side, and we'll flip her around and do the other side, and just continue rotating this thing as we weld it. So what we're going to try to do is weld one side and then come across to the other side so I don't overheat and twist things, I'm hoping. So that should work out okay. So let's try it and see how it goes. I think the camera is on a good spot for you guys to see me do that. Looks like it is. Okay. Let's knock it out. Hopefully I got this thing dialed in pretty good. She should be all right. She's running a little hot. I'm gonna keep her down just a tad. Alright, so let's see if we can weld that opposite corner. Good. let that cool off for a few minutes, and then we'll hit the inside portions of the welds, inside seam, and then go from there. Okay guys, so we'll get the grinder out. We'll start cleaning these up. I'm gonna change the actual bits on these. So camera's there, yeah, hopefully you guys can see it. So this is a normal flop disc. This is a beveled, so I can get those inside corners. Okay. So that's the top. And there's the bottom. Now you got to remember, this is all going to be sheeted, right, with 16 gauge and 20 gauge on the outside of cold press. Well, we got the frame done, guys. She's looking good. Okay guys, so we're gonna get those cross braces in. I'm just gonna get a T-square. Just make sure things are where they're supposed to be. 1 second. Or a T-square. There we go. So we know the spacing in between there is 44 inches. So what we want to mark is 22. So let's mark 22 and see how we are. We'll mark 22 here. 22. And what we'll do is square up against it. And we are dead on. Which is perfect. So let's see if that cross brace will fit, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I got the cross beam marked. Just get rid of the cable for a second. And I got this marked at 1 inch, because that's 2-inch pipe. Okay. And we should be able to get that right in there. Line it up there, line it up here, and weld it. So let me get the welder going. The other one, we'll clean up those welds once they cool off and see how the other one fits. Might have to grind it down a tad. Looking good. Okay, I'm going to mark this one. 1 inch and 1 inch. An inch and an inch.
too much work. And just a light grind on the end.
she goes. Like I said, the floor is a little crooked, but that's given because the garage is, the shop's got a slope to the door. But it looks pretty good. It looks pretty square. Gonna hold up nice. You're perfect. All right, let's clean this up a little bit, and we'll take her from there. So there you go, guys. Frame's all done. Now we still have to do some cross members, and we're going to use the 1.5 inch angle iron. I'll explain to you why I'm using the angle iron instead of the T-bar this time. Reason being, there's going to be some extra shelving in this unit. So also we need to figure out how to disperse the weight of this oven to the back portion, so when the door swings open, it doesn't tip. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But she's all welded together, cleaned up. It's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna call it. I don't want these videos to get too long, but the next one will be cross members, start doing some sheeting, adjustable feet, and so forth. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. Thanks for watching.